This is all Hitches, the NoVA football podcast.
All right, welcome back to All Hitches, NoVA's #1 football podcast. This episode is brought to you by Fairfax Football Academy, the best QB training and development in Northern Virginia. Follow on Instagram at Fairfax Football Academy. Tell them Dash and Dan sent you. Coach Mesa, how you doing this fine, freezing Tuesday evening?
Trying to stay warm.
Man,
Yeah.
Good luck staying warm.
I asked you as a native Virginian, such as yourself. You said that this is very rare to be this cold in the first couple weeks of December, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is terrible. They said that last night was the coldest night since I feel like it was. I think they said last February.
Yeah, I did see that.
That's cold. You start talking about February. We're only in early December.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's in the 50s in December. This is crazy.
Yeah, actually,
it's going to have implications, buddy. This weather's going to have implications on the games. We're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Oh, actually, I think they said it. Snow-wise, that it's supposed to warm up a little bit this week. Like in the high 40s.
I had a good angle on that. Don't ruin that for me. That was the weather was a good angle. Yeah, it might be high 40s. You're right. However, well, we're gonna get into it in a little. We'll get into it. I got some stuff. I got some tidbits on that one, which we're gonna get to in a few minutes. Before we get into all that, it's that time of year. It's not only is it the most wonderful time of the year for presents and all. Which, by the way, we have a store which we're gonna put a link out here in a bit with a lot of good little items for the stocking stuffers.
Yeah.
You're looking for that last second mug, for that coffee drinker in your life. You're looking for that All Hitches hat. You're looking for that All Hitches shirt. You're looking for some team gear. We got it all.
And you are a coffee drinker.
I'm a big coffee drinker, as most coaches are, my friend. Yeah. Some coaches might drink a little bit of maybe Red Bulls. Some might go Monsters. Maybe others just a Coca-Cola or a Jolt. But I'd say the majority of them are probably coffee drinkers.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been a coffee drinker.
You're more of a soda guy.
I am a soda guy.
Yeah, see, they're out there. I know you guys are out there. I'd rather just have give me a couple shots of espresso, make it nice and easy.
There you go.
Nice and easy. But yeah, it's that time of year. Talking about gifts. Talk about what they refer to in the NFL as the old Black Friday.
Black Monday.
Black Monday. Black Friday is a shopping day.
Yes.
Black Monday or Black Sunday when the Raiders beat the Skins in the Super Bowl. But Black Monday, yeah, unfortunate time, and it's not quite like that at the high school level with different teams doing stuff at different times. Now a couple weeks ago, Robinson put their position on the website.
They did
on the county website. They are hiring a new head coach. Our friend Sean Blair, great guy. No longer coaching there next year. I'm sure Sean will find other things to do. He's
yeah. I mean, in reality,
coach, there's plenty of schools that would love to have Sean on staff.
Had we been by the old system, I think they would have made the playoffs. I mean,
yes,
they are the Notre Dame of right.
Good call.
Right, they finished for. Actually, no, they're actually the Miami. They're the Miami team. If they didn't get in, right?
Yeah.
They were tied. They were tied record-wise with West Potomac. They beat West Potomac head-to-head.
Yes.
They still didn't get in, right?
And remember last year they were in and then they were out.
They were in. They were out. They were in as of Friday of 4:30, getting on the bus, right? They were getting on the bus, getting ready to do their pregame, and then
right. And Sean he had the all-time Robinson leading thrower and pass receiver a year ago.
There, so
so Sean's done good things, and he'll continue to do good things. Great man, great family guy, all that stuff. But that's just the nature of the beast, right? Everyone knows we're all coaches. I know you were a former head coach. I was never a head coach. Didn't want to deal with this stuff. Yeah. But you've dealt with the Black Monday before, so to speak.
Yeah.
As a head coach,
it's a tough thing to do. But with that job come expectations.
Right.
So
it's just it is what it is. But now, so looking at that job, and you and I have been talking about things, and they're probably going to, nothing's set in stone. I would imagine it's still open right now, so they're still taking applications. they'll probably shut it down in the next week or so, and then probably start moving along on all the interviews and stuff. Probably when 2026.
Or they could start doing interviews next week, right? They have
Yeah,
to,
possible.
they leave it open for 2 weeks. They probably gotten all the applications they're probably going to get.
You think all the interviews next week? You wouldn't want to do
No,
interviews.
no, they're probably do the first round next week.
First round.
First round next week.
Yeah, you could do first round.
Yeah, I mean, and you could even interview over the break, right? Depending on.
Yeah, yeah, I guess that's true. You got a couple days over the break, you could do it.
Because I mean, ideally, you'd probably want to have that coach in place when the kids come back to do the.
In the perfect world, or at least you're announcing it like really soon.
Yeah,
when you come back.
You don't want to lose too much of an off season, which I think sometimes schools are guilty of.
Yeah.
They don't realize, like, I mean, time's ticking. I mean,
Yeah.
I know for a fact that like the kids at Woodson are already in the weight room lifting, and so
Right.
when no one's monitoring that, so I mean, you got to kind of get that stuff in.
Right.
So
So you and I have been talking about things, right? As far as and we're not going to talk about any kind of any secret candidacy or anything like that,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about some of the more you and I, our discussions, right? This is why we started the show to have great discussions. There's some great coaches out there, right? You got Pannoni's out there.
Yeah.
We don't know the Taylor situation at Fairfax. So we'll skip over him for a second. That's kind of an unknown thing. We
Coach
got Aziz.
Coach Aziz.
Aziz is out there. I've been banging the drum. You know that for Coach Ludwig for a couple of years.
Yeah, Coach Ludwig. That's
The Mike March of NoVA,
Yeah.
the mad scientist.
Right.
So that's three big names right there. I'm not saying those guys have applied. I'm just saying like guys that you and I would like to see apply.
Yeah. And you know more about this than I do, but Robinson is a traditional power, right? I
Right.
mean, the
Right.
Robinson name carries a little gravitas.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It means something around these parts.
Yeah.
If you've won a state title, you and I were talking about this earlier. If you've won a state title in the 2000s, right, in this millennium,
Yeah.
then that means something.
Yeah.
I call that modern times.
Yeah.
Some people would not call that modern times, but I'm going to call from the 2000 on modern time, the modern era.
It's only 25 years ago. God, it goes by so fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, 25 years for some people is a long time.
Yeah.
For you and I, not so long, but for some people it's a long time. And you never know. You never know what kind of young guys. Over the years, you've seen a lot of young guys. You've seen the Coach Slays, Coach Richards. You've seen kind of these young, hot coordinators come up.
Yeah.
And
Coach Holland. I don't know how young.
Coach Holland, but the young coordinator, right? Get these gigs, right? Good job. Coach McBride.
Coach McBride. Yeah.
So, we happen to name, three of the veteran NoVA coaches when you and I were naming names. But there could be, there's a plethora of like really good, like, OC, DC, position coach type guys
Absolutely.
that could put their hat in the ring and they could be the one that wows everybody at an interview.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you never know about people who are coaching somewhere else and say, I'm going to go for the job.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens too sometimes.
Happens all the time.
You never know. So, I mean, all that kind of stuff is out there. Now, the other job, Fairfax job,
It's
because you and I were talking about this.
Yeah.
With an interim, because Coach Frank was the interim.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fact. He was the interim coach.
Yes.
Now, with an interim coach, you do, and this was a debate we had, but we did some digging. You have to announce that job.
Yeah, I mean, it's like any other job. Same
Right.
thing. If there was a teaching job open or a custodial job
Right.
open, there has to be interviews for it. I mean, it's a I think it's not a government job, but it's a public job, I guess, for
Yeah,
lack
it's a county
of
job.
Yeah, you can't just move someone in there. Like there has to be a process.
So that's going to be a process. So
Yeah.
we would imagine at some point that job gets. Now we love Coach Frank. We think he did a good job. He'd probably be the front runner as the
As he should.
inside candidate, the in-house candidate. But that'll be and that's a good job too. Fairfax is a great job.
Oh yeah, I mean they've been in the playoffs for the last few years. I mean, been at run a region 3 years ago.
Right.
3 years ago. Been in a region final just last year. Actually, I think they've been in the region final not this year, but the 3 years. No, I'm sorry, last 2 years. Because they got
And even this year they went to the second round.
in the second round. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So Fairfax, a good job. Now, and we've been around long enough. There's always those jobs that pop up. You talk about, you mentioned Black Monday at first. There's always like Black February, where like a job opens up, or Black January, where a job opens up in some random month. Black March, right? Where people are like, whoa, a job's opening up right now. It's almost spring break. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, and you always hope that either if admin is going to move on from the coach, they do it because you really hurt a program
Right.
when you get rid of your coach late. Yeah, I don't
Right.
think sometimes they really realize, this is not most sports where the kids are off playing that sport for some other team. They have to be doing it in the building, right? Football in
Right.
particular, right? If you fire your basketball coach 2.5 months after the season, it's not that big of a deal because that basketball coach probably is doing very little with them. I'm sure they're doing some. I'm not saying they're not. I'm sure Coach
Yeah,
Craig.
Coach Craig's going to have a word with you, Buster.
But for the most part, they're with their AAU team. They're with their travel
Right.
team, practicing basketball. It's not that big of a deal. Football
Right.
it's a huge deal.
Huge deal with football.
I mean, because 7-on-7 time starts in February,
Right.
February, March, and if you're transitioning a team, they're not doing any of that stuff. They're not in the weight room, and the off season is, I would say, football off season is more important than any other off season in all the sports.
Right.
In the building.
Yeah. No, I think that's easy.
Yeah.
And you got me thinking now. We're thinking of like young, young assistants. We mentioned Ludwig,
Yeah.
the mad genius. Got another mad genius for you. How about Coach Parker over West Springfield?
Oh, that's another one.
Coordinator, Coach Parker.
Oh yeah.
Right, on offense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done some stuff. I could see it coming off a great season. Now he might want to stay. They got the family thing going on over there. That's got to be a blast, be able to coach with your brother and your dad and all that stuff.
And they were not with him for a while. It wasn't like they've been with him the whole time.
Right.
They had been
Because that dumb rule that finally got lifted a couple years ago.
They came back, but I think for sure that they obviously would be, if they were interested. I would definitely. I kick the tires on them, right? I mean,
You kidding me?
Yeah.
So this is kind of fun, right? This is kind of fun, even in the NFL and the college ranks.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of analyzing the fits, who would fit in at what school, and all that kind of stuff, and what they're going to do when they get there. All that's always kind of a fun part for us.
Yeah.
And guys who are trying to analyze this stuff now.
Now we have heard that there are other possible jobs open.
Opening.
Opening.
Yes.
Opening. We have heard of jobs, but there's been no confirmation until we hear something. Until we see it on the good old website. I don't want to speak on those kind of
right things. Out of respect.
Yeah, but we've gotten DMs. We've gotten other.
Right.
We've gotten text messages, some smoke signals.
Right.
Guys are meeting good old guys are meeting us in a parking lot in a parking structure.
Right, with the briefcase.
The briefcase, but I don't think, out of respect for those coaches and out of respect for the programs, we're not going to get into that.
Right. When we said it, I think last year when a team, whether a school announces it, through a website, putting the job out there like Robertson's did a couple weeks ago, or
they announce on social
media.
Or
a coach announcing that they're leaving, whatever. Then that's different. But we're not going to be the ones to talk about it out of turn unless someone else has done it already. Let them have, out of respect, right? We like you said, you've been there. You've been down this road.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
No.
It's not fun. So keep an eye on that, and we'll keep talking about some of these vacancies and all that as they kind of pop up throughout the offseason. We kind of wanted to lead with that a little bit first before we get into the big. We know it's going to be not super long.
Right.
I was talking to my wife and it's funny I say kids, but really I only have one kid who can actually have a conversation with me at this point. I mean, one's 3, so my 14-year-old. I'm so used to saying kids, but my wife and my one teenager were up there, and they're like, "How long's the show going to be tonight?" And I said, "It'll probably be relatively short."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Why?" They're like, "It's always long." And I'm like, "No." I was like, "We got one game to talk about."
Yeah.
They said, and I said, for comparison, I said we have almost 30 some odd teams to talk about. I said back in August, September. That it wasn't a bye game.
And they're part of our huge coverage area. In reality, I mean, we talk a little about North Stafford, but not very much, and we don't talk ever about Oscar Smith. So I mean, there are 2 teams that we are somewhat familiar with because we got to see Oscar Smith last week, so that's how we know about him, and we know North Stafford kind of in their musings around the greater Northern Virginia area. What do you call them? NoVA Plus.
NoVA Plus. So and so this is it. So NoVA Plus, North Stafford. Great story. I mean, you had the stat a couple weeks ago of their coach, Coach Hall, going through a stretch where, what did you say his stretch was at one point?
I think they won 1 game in 2 years.
Yeah, it was a rough stretch. Yeah. And again, you talk about continuity and the importance of continuity.
Yeah.
Believing in your coach. You're in administration. You're in athletic office. You made your hire. You believed in that guy when you hired him.
Yeah.
Stick with your gut.
Yeah.
Stick with your gut. They did, and Coach Hall has not let them down. And here they are in the state title matchup against Oscar Smith. What do you got for us, Mason?
So I think that this is a really good matchup between two really, really talented football teams. North Stafford, a couple of hiccups. They had two big hiccups in their season, right? They actually three. They lost to a really talented Riverbend team. They should have beat Battlefield, and they lost to Colonial Forge, which again I've talked about this before. Everyone thought might be, if not the best team in 6A, probably the second best team around. But they are ultra talented. I mean, we were told by a few people who saw the West Springfield game that if they would have called back some of those touchdowns, it would have been a blowout between them and West Springfield. West Springfield is really talented, so I think they're going to pose a lot of problems for Oscar Smith. Meaning them talent for talent. Now they are not, from where we understand from Carl, not a very large as far as size of of it, but really talented. And then they're facing a team that we saw in Oscar Smith last week that are just talent all over the place, right? I mean, they're big, they're fast, they're physical. They're explosive. That quarterback can sling it. I mean, we watched him and he can throw it. And they've got and I think you brought it up. We talked about it at first we kept asking Carl, which one is the Michigan receiver? Because they all look good.
They did.
All three of them
did all look good. Yeah.
All looked like they could have been the Michigan receiver.
Yeah.
They were the Spider-Man meme. Each one pointed at each other. I mean, obviously we haven't seen them all year, so maybe you could have noticed them standing out. But they all looked really good. I mean, and then defensively they've got the UVA commit at corner. We saw them up front. They got that one number, kid number 27, who's only a sophomore, by the way.
Oh yeah.
It's just really good. I mean, they're really physical. I think this matchup is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I agree with you. And starting with North Stafford, I guess we'll start there. Interesting matchup because they're somewhat similar squads.
Yeah.
In explosiveness, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. So, and I was trying to find number 6's name. The Oscar Smith roster listed on Max Preps doesn't have a number as low as number 6, and their own website on their school does not have numbers. So
okay,
yeah. So, but number 6, shout out to number 6. He was a stud. But anyways, North Stafford. I mean, you talk about, like you said, Chase Sullivan at quarterback. I mean, stud. He's not the same kind of guy that Lonnie Andrews is.
Yeah.
He's more of a pocket. He can move a little bit more of a pocket passer. Carl kind of broke it down for us. But Chase Sullivan is a gunslinger, right? So you got a great quarterback at both schools. Running back, you have Caden Bones at North Stafford. You got receiver. You got Antoine Barnes.
McGowan is number 6. Is what I understand.
McGowan. Okay, there you go. Good call. So McGowan numbers, he's a stud. You're talking about at Oscar Smith.
Yeah, we got from Corey Ricks 50. Let us know.
Thank you. He is a stud. But yeah, so you got Caden at running back. You got Antoine Barnes receiver. They got Travis Johnson.
Yeah.
Right. So you got stud quarterback. You got stud receiver. You got DB. You got Kenneth Sullivan, who's maybe the best player on the. And now we'll see if he plays. I know he was kind of banged up. But again, stud DBs.
Yeah.
Right? You got Hubbard, King Antoine, all these guys at Will Frazier on the D line. I mean, so they kind of match it. They're mirroring them a little bit. Now, Oscar Smith's going to have more of these kind of guys because they're Oscar Smith. I get it.
Yeah.
But very similar in firepower and explosion. Okay? And again, you talk about Lonnie Andrews, who, I mean, he was amazing to watch against Madison last week.
Yeah.
I think a lot of other quarterbacks in the entire state of Virginia, they lose that game.
Yeah.
It was almost Lonnie Andrews or bust.
Yeah.
Travis Johnson, TJ Curtis at running back, Lennox Williams at D-line at Oscar Smith. So again, they got studs. The question's going to be, and you and I have been talking about this all week since that Madison game. Can North Stafford go in there, and can they do a Madison-like performance? We know they do have a tough line.
Yeah.
And they can run the ball. But are they going to go in there? Are they going to try and Oscar Smith in that game?
That's the $1 million question.
Or
The other thing I wonder is this: was last week Oscar Smith's scare? But they were like, okay, no, we're not doing that again. We're not going to do that. You always worry that kind of woke them up. And I'm sure their coaches all week are going to be saying, you can get beat. You can be beat. You were 11 yards away from not coming to the state title game.
right.
So you really got it kind of buttoned up. I heard Matt Hatfield talking about this on the NoVA Legends show. I caught that a little bit of what he was talking about there, and he was saying their game that they played the week before against LC Bird. No, what was it played the week before?
Yeah, I had it here somewhere. Was it? No, it wasn't Bird. It was the other one. Bird lost. I thought in the upset.
Yeah, the Bird lost, but whoever they played the week before, the game, the name is escaping me. He said they played pretty much a perfect game, and he said, Thomas Dale, that you worry that's going to be that you're going to have a letdown after playing essentially what was a perfect game, which you could argue they did, right? I mean, the Oscar Smith faithful will tell you, look, they called back 2 touchdowns. They called back 2 touchdowns against us. We should have blown this game wide open. Blowing kisses, huh?
I am blowing. My daughter was going to bed, so I blew her a kiss.
That there was going to be a letdown in that game. There's going to be a letdown in that game, and you could say that was a letdown game, and that's not to take anything away from. I thought Madison played a fabulous game. Also, if you're on the Oscar Smith side, you're going to say, look, they did call 4 holding penalties in a row against them as well, right? So you're going to say, we should actually should have won that game by a lot. There was a lot of controversial holding calls. You and I weren't watching it, so we couldn't see it. And I didn't go back to watch it again.
What are you talking about? The Oscar Smith game?
The Oscar Smith game.
Oh no, I mean we didn't go back to see if they were legit holding. I'm sure they were.
But what I'm saying is Oscar Smith in their head, they're like, while we did have a scare, that they feel that they played better than the score was. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm sure they are rather preparing, and I do think to your point, going back to your original point is North Stafford going to try to out Oscar Smith, and I don't know if you can beat them at their own game. I don't know. Now the flip side of that is you dance with the girl you brought, right? If that's who you've been all year, you probably shouldn't change that up a ton, right? I mean, you've done that. Now the other tough thing is we don't know the severity of the injury to the running back at North Stafford,
and really and more importantly, he's a great DB.
Yes. So
I think he plays DB in college.
Yeah.
And that's what it says in his Twitter bio, anyways. And I think that's to me is the bigger scare because you got to cover a Power 5 receiver.
Yeah. So that may be the loss that really hurts him in losing him. So Corey Rick says I've never seen a complete game. They have played like they did against Thomas Dale. So someone co-signed the fact that how well they played.
So, now again, and those are the questions. Is like I said, is North Stafford going to go ahead and try and out Oscar Smith,
yeah.
Or they're going to try and play a Madison game?
Yeah,
I mean they have, Caden Bones. I think I'm saying it correct. I can't read my handwriting. Had a great job as kind of the running back in that game and ran really hard against West Springfield. Antoine Barnes did what Antoine Barnes does in that game, right? So they're going to be able to do some of that stuff. They held, Wickham, in the first half. He only had 4 or 5 carries in the first half, by the way. Right?
Yeah.
Now, Oscar Smith couldn't get the run going either against Madison.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if they can also kind of do that. They do have some film, Madison was now. But speaking to the point of the film, because we said that on the last show, they got film. Madison laid out a blueprint, all that kind of stuff. Okay, well, the blueprint's one thing, but part of that blueprint was the execution.
Yeah.
And that's not just done. You don't just do execution. You got to be able to execute. Yeah. And can they tackle like Matt? We talked about this all week. That Travis Johnson catches 5-yard balls normally and takes them to the house.
Yeah.
He can do it all. Yeah. Madison didn't let him do that. They never caught that little short route and took it the distance because Madison was right on the tackle. Johnny on the spot every time. Can North Stafford play a complete game of making that short tackle every time?
Right. Because if you look at a lot of Oscar Smith's touchdowns, they were big, explosive, long touchdowns. They had a real problem with catching short passes and going the distance, which they had done all year. And it kind of, I think I talked about it on the wrap up. Madison might be one of the best tackling teams I've ever seen, top to bottom, best tackling teams I've ever seen. And can you do that, right? Can you make it so, all right, you're gonna catch a 5-yard hitch on us, but you're gonna get 6 yards, and I'm gonna make you earn it down the field. And I think that's gonna be a key part for North Stafford.
Right.
Someone else in the chat, penalties have been an issue for Smith. Smith commits no more than 6 penalties and no more than 2 turnovers. It could be a route, and it could be.
That's probably it could be an accurate
also
thing.
Oscar Smith did have a problem holding on to the football. They fumbled the ball twice inside. I mean, they had an issue early and late. Remember,
you're right, and late.
And late, they had a problem holding on to the football.
And if they converted that first one to a score, it could have been a totally different game.
Right. When they got the ball inside the 20, that they could have converted there. So, yeah, 100%. Turnovers is going to be a big part. Turnovers part of most of the game. That being said, they were able to turn them away as well.
Yeah. Smith is known to smack you in the face early, lose steam. They did in this game. Now some teams they can knock out early.
Yeah.
And that a lot of people who didn't know found out that Madison had a freaking granite chin.
Yes.
And Madison's hard to knock out.
I'll give you the old. It might have been Cesar Chavez versus was it Pernell Whitaker? No.
Julio Cesar Chavez versus Melder Taylor is the one where
right?
you thought it was all she wrote, and all of a sudden he flipped it on him.
Yeah.
And then they had to stop the fight because he was killing Taylor at the end.
Yeah.
This could be a fun game, and it could come down to it. It's really going to come down more to, I think, more North Stafford than it is Oscar Smith. I think we know what Oscar Smith is.
Yeah.
I think we know what they're going to do. We know what they like to do. We know what they have. North Stafford still, let's be honest, North Stafford's still kind of the unknown. They do play in Stafford. We call it NoVA Plus.
Yeah.
Right? We kind of gave Carl a hard time early in the year when Carl was our correspondent at the game, and he couldn't get any connection.
Yeah.
So I think with some of their stuff, and not everyone knows a whole lot. They're kind of mysterious a little bit. I feel their stud players don't get enough notoriety.
Well, and I think we talked about a little on the preview show as well. This if they win, this will be the first championship, I believe in Stafford County, right? This will be the first state title in the history of the area for them. So
nice.
there's a lot riding on this, and also I said Stafford County in particular is an emerging football powerhouse. I mean, they have Colonial Forge and North Stafford down there.
Yeah.
Well, you would take against any team in 6A.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying you'd bet on, but you would think, be like, that's a tough matchup. There's no one you'd be like, oh, they'll beat them soundly. Nobody. There's nobody around. And they have 2 schools in that area, and you could argue population-wise not nearly as big.
Yeah, I think North Stafford, at the end of the day, I mean, and Corey, thanks, our guy here, Corey Ricks.
Yeah.
Doing a good job with some of the good content here. They put 49 on what he thought was an average, what was above average Woodbridge team. Yeah, North. At the end of the day, with North Stafford, you talk about Madison on their side. Had Madison gone on and pulled the upset off, Madison would have gone through Westfield, Centerville,
yeah,
and then obviously Oscar Smith.
Yeah.
Talk about earning it, right?
Yeah.
On the flip side, North Stafford,
Region
who they
B.
go through? Who North Stafford go through?
Region B they went through Woodbridge.
They
went through Battlefield. And then
one lost Battlefield.
And then did they go through Garfield?
I think it was.
No, they went through Colonial Forge. Went through Garfield. I can't think who they got in the.
And then they had their games early in the year where they played tough teams, and they should have won. Remember the Battlefield loss early in the year where they should have won, but they had the miracle kick return.
Yeah.
And then who was the other North Stafford loss early in the year?
They lost to Colonial Forge.
That was the other the close game.
Yeah.
No, did they get beat?
They lost 3 games. They lost to Colonial Forge, and they lost.
What was the score in the Colonial Forge loss again?
They lost to Riverbend. They lost to Colonial Forge by 1, and Riverbend by 7.
Right. So
and Riverbend really good. They beat Independence in the first round.
Independence. So they beat a lot of. They played a lot of tough teams this year.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Region B is a big.
Yes.
It's the toughest region out of the 4.
Yeah, and for them to beat Woodbridge, to beat Battlefield, having played Riverbend, having played Colonial Forge, they earned it. They're where they're at. 100%. They earned it where they're at. So we're not seeing. This is not the. Remember the old Super Bowls when like the NFC team would represent with like the Niners, your boys.
Yeah.
And then you'd have some team. The wrong team would come out of the AFC.
Yeah.
Like the Stan Humphreys Chargers would upset somebody, and all of a sudden you're like, shoot, I'm gonna get the lucky Chargers versus the Niners.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like here we're getting the right matchup.
I think so.
We're getting a good matchup. Now, I mean, could Madison have pulled that game off? Yeah, they very well could have and should have. But now that we're here,
yeah,
I think at least from the if it had to be anyone from that side, I think North Stafford earned it.
Yeah, I think so too.
They earned it from that side. Battlefield's like the Buffalo Bills of the 90s. So much hype, I can't see it now. I mean, yeah, but you know what thing I'll say about that? I've heard people say that before. One thing I'll say about the Buffalo Bills, right? And I'll say it about Battlefield. They were great teams.
Yes.
Right? There are a lot of Hall of Famers in those teams. I know they couldn't win the big one. But great teams, great players. And, hat goes off to them. The Marv Levy and all those teams. So same thing with Battlefield. Those were good teams. And sometimes you just run into teams that are better than you.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at those Bills teams, as great as they were, the one that they should have won was the Giants one.
Yeah.
Because that Skins team, analytics-wise, that Skins team is one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah.
And then they played the Dallas in their prime.
They had Dallas down at the half on Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they played the Cowboys the Cowboy teams in their prime.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's no shame in that. But it was that Giants one.
Yeah.
Field goal, bud. A missed field goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate Corey Ricks. Corey, wherever you're from.
That's what I'm saying. Corey, is Corey Ricks from here, or are you closer down to down the beach way? Or you
seems to know a lot. He seems to know a lot.
He knows a lot about those teams down there. You talk about Indian River and all that stuff. But yeah, we always appreciate the good feedback.
Yeah.
Especially on a late on a Tuesday night with actually 100 some odd people on the live stream. Not bad for a Tuesday night, Mason. People staying up past their bedtime.
You didn't even announce this.
Did he? We didn't even announce it. We were going to film, and we said, let's just go live. It's literally one of the last episodes of the football season.
Yeah.
And we'll do another 20-minute. Chesapeake, there he is. Look at that. We appreciate that. We got viewers all over the place, Mason.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of fun breaking this game down a little bit, talking about. We knew it'd be a short show, talking about some of these, and maybe we'll do a short live show to talk about the recap.
Yeah.
It'll be another short one. Hopefully it's a good one. I do want to say this: we're going to do a live show for the game. If you're not going to JMU to watch this game, we are going to do what we did last year. We're going to have our Manning Cast live stream. We're going to live stream the game. We've already talked. We got Vossler's going to pop on. We got Coach Richards is going to pop on. We got the Adam Schefter of NoVA. Carl Frederic's going to pop on. We got
Dwight Vick says he might try to pop on.
Dwight Vick is probably going to pop on. So we got guys popping on all over the place. It's going to be a star-studded event.
Yeah. I'm not sure what you guys Rona means.
You guys.
Maybe it'll be a typo. I don't know.
Maybe it's a typo. He's a fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a good show during the so tune in live on YouTube, live on X, and we're gonna do a nice live stream presentation with a lot of guests. We talked about the Stonebridge game. The loss. We didn't really go over the game. We just kind of went over the score of the game on our recap episode.
Yeah.
And the only other games I guess really worth talking about was we did hype up that defense. Well, they're a tough team, but they didn't have what it took. They didn't have what it took that night. Yeah. They are a tough team, and they scored more than I thought they'd score on Maury in that game. Did they score like 28 or 30 in that game?
Yeah, they scored quite a bit.
So the D maybe didn't play as well as people thought, but their offense scored a lot more than I thought their offense would score.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as that we talked about it a little bit. We didn't talk much about it since we didn't see. We were at the Madison game, and that was kind of the game that we talked about. We do have Loudoun County, Mesa. Loudoun County, and
yeah.
you got that one?
I don't. Look that up.
Sure, you always say, yeah, I got it right here. That's what you say. And then Kettle Run. So you got Loudoun County and Kettle Run, other NoVA games.
Verina. They're playing Verina.
That's right, Verina. What's Verina's record?
Verina's record is
Because we don't play around. We're not going to pretend like we know what Verina's record is here on the show.
12-2.
12-2 with losses against who?
Losses to Maury.
Ooh.
No shame in that. And then
What was the score?
Score for that was, and then they lost to some team in North Carolina.
Okay, they traveled.
It was probably pretty good.
You have the Maury score?
14-13.
If Loudoun County pull, so Verina's the real deal. Yeah, he's saying Verina all day.
Yeah.
After I heard that score, yes, they are the Vegas favorites.
Yeah.
But that's you never know, man. Loudoun County's been tough, and maybe they can pull an upset off here.
Yeah.
And then we got Kettle Run. Kettle Run's been the big surprise. Kettle Run with the big upset.
Yeah.
Against Liberty Christian. No one saw that one coming.
No. Yeah. 1,000%. Yeah.
Good call. It was 14-13. That's a good call. So who's Kettle Run playing, Mason?
Kettle Run is playing. Give me a second here.
And I'm curious also because some people might have said that Liberty Christian was going to win that whole thing in that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the matchup that probably was thought would have been. Liberty Christian is playing. Oh no, Liberty Christian. Oh, Kettle Run. Hold on. Was that? That's not the final, is it?
No.
Oh, Lake Taylor, James
Taylor.
Thank you for being a friend.
Yeah, Lake James Taylor. So Lake Taylor versus Kettle Run. What's Lake Taylor's record?
Lake Taylor is 12-2.
Okay. Who would they lose to?
They lost to Maury.
What was the score there?
42-14.
Okay, so a little more.
And they lost to Hampton.
Tough teams though. Tough schedule.
Oh, 1,000%. And
I know that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
That they were up 28-0 at halftime. The fact that Kettle Run came back in that game is insane.
Yeah. And the team that took out Hampton, because now it was Phoebus. Phoebus not 47-35.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Kettle Run, you got to root for those guys just because of what they went through this year.
Yeah.
And we talked about kind of that whole situation, and then the players that stuck around that didn't leave and are now in a state title game.
Those who stay will be champions. Good old coach of Michigan, Bo Schembechler, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Those that stay will be champions.
Those who remain will be champions.
Yeah.
Great line. I know a coach used to use that line.
Yeah. He also didn't like to run all hitches. So
yeah. So Kettle Run, Loudoun County, obviously as here in Northern Virginia, we'll be kind of pulling for them. They got some tough matchups ahead. We'll see how that works out for them. And then all the NoVA teams are probably underdogs.
Yeah. Oh, I was just thinking last year, it was just our faces with the game. This year we actually get to put the game on there.
We'll have the game on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have the game on with a lot of fun guests doing tricks. Coach Craig might come on and juggle.
Yeah.
Coach Craig might come on. We'll see who else we can get on. I wanted to actually reach out to the Parkers and see if the Parkers wanted to come on, and maybe even Coach Counts.
Yeah, Coach Counts. So nice to have the Parkers on.
Because Coach Counts can kind of speak on the Oscar Smith stuff. The Parkers can kind of speak on the North Stafford stuff.
Maybe we get Coach Franklin from Virginia Tech. Anybody know Coach Franklin?
Coach Franklin. We'll try and get Coach Franklin. He might have heard of the show. That one that senator was at the Madison game. He was a fan of the show.
In fact, we know there was a Penn State coach who did know about the show.
That's right.
Yeah. So if that guy's listening,
maybe that guy's at Tech now.
Maybe he's at Tech.
And I remember talking to the running backs coach at Villanova. He was aware of the show.
Yeah.
So we stretch wide. We have a wide net, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, man. That's all she wrote. Fun show. Counts as the best coach in the state. Yeah, a lot of people would agree with that. It goes to show, right? I mean, sometimes you got to go outside the box when you're hiring a coach, and not everyone does it.
Yeah.
Not everyone There's a lot of schools that would pass on a coach who's not going to be in the building.
Yeah.
And I understand why.
Yeah.
I understand why you'd want your football coach to be 100%. But I think Madison's admin does a great job, Mason.
Oh yeah. I know we talked about that multiple times. Yeah.
They do a good job in hiring coaches too.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, that's going to be all she wrote. It was fun. Almost got to 150 on the Twitter stream, and who knows what the YouTube stream had. But that's kind of fun on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Wanted to go maybe tomorrow, but I'm going to a holiday party. My wife's company's having a holiday party.
Look at you.
Well, you never know. A few bowls of loudmouth soup. I didn't want to come on the show.
You should have done it from the holiday party.
That would have been great.
That would have gone over really well with your wife.
Hang on. Let me just finish this. We're talking about Verina, and that wouldn't have gone over well. All right. Well, this is it, buddy. The last preview show.
Yes.
Of the season. We'll do our last recap show on Sunday, and then it gets into the holiday break, and then All-Star game. We'll do that. Actually, next week, I talked to D.O. We will do our All-Star game announcement.
Oh, that's awesome.
When we name the Virginia members of the All-Star team.
All right.
And I got a sneak peek at the list.
Did you?
I did.
Any good names?
Great names.
Oh, okay.
None but the best. The creme de la creme in Virginia.
All right.
So we'll keep everyone on pins and needles for that one.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, from Dash and Dan and all Hitches, we'll see you guys next time.